right, here is another interesting one. Something very unexpected just happened in Europe. And this particular thing that happened is causing a lot of controversy and backlash, especially from America's Trump supporters, the MAGA guys, that are cheering Donald Trump on for sending immigrants out of the United States. Now, Spain is doing something opposite. Through a decree, Spain will now grant legal residency and work permits to as many as 800,000 undocumented immigrants. And this move is in direct defiance of what we are seeing in America, like what Donald Trump is doing with this mass deportation thing. Everywhere in America, ICE is raiding everywhere and sniffing out all the illegals in America. And they are sending them away. They are sending immigrants out of America. But now, Spain is doing the complete opposite. According to Spain's Minister of Migration, he announced this extraordinary measure on Tuesday, that was January 27th, following a cabinet meeting. He described the decree as essential to Spain's economic survival in this era of demographic decline. Because Spain's demography have a very low birth rate and they basically need this immigration to keep going. The policy, approved by executive order to bypass a fragmented parliament, applies to anyone who arrived before December 31st, 2025 and can prove 5 months residence and has no criminal record whatsoever. Yes, it is something really unexpected. And almost 1 million people will benefit from this. The application will open in April and will close on June 30th, 2026. Now, this is happening at a very, very interesting time in history because we're seeing a lot of tightening of the border by Western countries. The Western migration policy are tightening like we've never seen before, while Spain, on the other hand, opens its doors. As I speak to you right now, the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has detained over 15,000 people already. And Germany has reinstated border controls across all their borders. This is indeed a direct contrast and defiance to the Schengen rules. And in France, Emmanuel Macron is now talking about the immigration problem as an existential threat. So, we're seeing all of this tightening of immigration in the US and in Europe. And now, we're seeing Spain doing something very opposite. Right now, the Prime Minister of Spain has repeatedly put all his political career, his political survival, and on the idea that Spain's choice is between being an open and prosperous country or a closed and poor country. And so far, the data we are seeing in Spain supports his idea, his gamble, because migration has accounted for 80% of Spain's economic growth over the past 6 years. And this is according to government figures. Now, the country posted about 3.2% GDP growth. Spain's economy grew by 3.2% in 2024, and it's more than what France achieved in the same year. France's economy only grew by 1.1%, and Germany's economy even contracted. This shows there is a decline in the German economy. An interesting thing here is that unemployment fell below 10% for the first time in 17 years in Spain. And despite all of these soft migration policies in Spain, the MAGA guys in America and the far-right people in Europe want us to believe that immigration is an existential threat. It is having a positive impact in Spain. And that is why Spain has chosen to take this path. Yes, you can say that they are going to, the great replacement theory. That talking point that they always use to support the hardline approach to migration in America and Europe. In Spain, they have been doing it differently. The current government in Spain is very different. As I speak to you right now, Spain needs about 300,000 foreign workers annually. That is every single year, to sustain their own pension system and their welfare states. In a country where the fertility rate is 1.1 children per woman, and there are more deaths than births each year, it means without immigration, Spain will face economic stagnation and fiscal collapse. This is what economists are warning about. Now, let me take it to the wider Europe and how Europe is viewing what is happening in Spain right now. Because this latest decree from Spain, is coming as Europe is moving towards maintaining a hard line on migration. Despite the 42.6% drop in irregular arrivals to Spanish territory in 2025, that's the funny thing I'm seeing here. The data is saying that despite the approach that Spain has towards migration, illegal immigrants have dropped by as much as 42% to Spain. And this is also happening when the entire Europe is facing its highest asylum application, which is the number of asylum applications since 2016. And this surge of asylum is straining the immigration system and fueling some far-right electoral gains, because all these MAGA-type people everywhere in Europe and America, when there is an immigration problem, they use it for campaign. They use it for electoral gains. In Germany, we're seeing the Christian Democratic Union. You know, they broke a post-World War II taboo by voting alongside the far-right alternative for Germany to restrict family reunification for refugees. And this will expand police powers to detain undocumented migrants in Germany. In Italy, Giorgia Meloni, the Prime Minister of Italy, is now requiring asylum seekers to be detained for up to 2 years while claims are processed. And she has also negotiated agreements with sending nations, that is those countries that these asylum seekers are coming from, to contain their migrants in exchange for visa quotas. And in France, France has also passed restrictions. France passed restrictions Macron described as a shield to fight illegal migration. Now let me go to who is going to benefit. Who is going to benefit from this latest rule by Spain? The numbers say that there are about 840,000, almost 1 million undocumented migrants concentrated in Latin Americans and North African populations. These are the people that will benefit. These are the majority of the numbers of these people that will be regularized in Spain. And they mainly work in agriculture, tourism, hospitality, and domestic care sectors. Now, let me take a look at the origin countries of these undocumented migrants. In America, they call them illegals. In Spain, they call them the undocumented. Different words for the same situation. And that is what you are seeing right now. In Colombia, there are about almost 160,000 undocumented migrants from Colombia alone. And Venezuela, they have more than 100,000 people. And Morocco has 106,000 people. And it's funny, Morocco, that always pretends that they are part of Europe. Where are they running to? Because right now, they are basically moving in mass to Spain. And it is funny that all of these numbers I'm seeing here now, sub-Saharan Africans, black Africans, are not even the majority of undocumented immigrants in Spain. Yes, you heard that. And yet, they always report in the news that blacks, sub-Saharan Africans, are the problem of migration in Europe. But the numbers that we are seeing in Spain right now is saying that it is not even blacks. It's not even blacks that are the majority of the undocumented immigrants in Spain. The majority are coming from Colombia, countries like Venezuela, Morocco, and Ecuadorians. They are mainly South American countries, Latin America, and North African countries, especially Morocco. But sub-Saharan Africans, including Nigerians, Senegalese, Malians, and Gambians, they represent a smaller but growing share of Spain's undocumented population. And they are concentrated in agricultural zones and urban informal economies. Nigerians have also established communities in Madrid, Barcelona, and Spain's North African enclaves that are often arriving the Atlantic routes to the Canary Islands. All those boats, that's always a dangerous journey. They use boats to cross the Mediterranean Sea, and every single time we'll always hear of people dying in that dangerous journey. And this is not the first time Spain is doing this kind of regularization. It is something that they always do. Yes, you heard that. Now, the last time they did, it was in 2005. And when they did this immigration regularization, more than 500,000 people benefited from that event that happened in 2005. And what was the result? The result was that Spain's economy grew. If it is something that is hurting their economy, do you think they will do it? They will not. The fact that they are still doing it in 2026 means that it is something that is working out for them. And now look at how the guys in America are reacting to it. I saw an Elon Musk tweet yesterday trying to post how people of color are causing chaos in Europe, just to paint this move by Spain as a negative event. The right-wing people in America, they are not happy. They are not happy that Spain is opening doors for undocumented immigrants to actually become legal migrants in their country. Yes, go to Twitter right now. You will see how furious they are. They are very furious. Trump might even post on Truth Social and call out Spain. Maybe he will impose a 10% tariff on Spain for making this move, because they might impose tariffs on Spain for making these measures to punish them. That is how crazy things are right now. Also, go on Twitter. You will also see a lot of Africans who are happy with this news. Who will not? And you know, as with everything, we are all going to wait and see how this thing pans out. The application will officially open in April this year, and it will close in June. So if you qualify for this, take advantage of it and become an EU resident. Yes, Spain is now offering you EU residency, even though you enter their country illegally. Tell me what you think about this in the comment section. And if you want to continue to see my content, subscribe, like, share, and ring that notification bell. I am your host, Peace Solomon, and I'll see you next time.